It's time to get your quick fix with the remix. I'm Remixus, and I hope y'all are having a fantastic day. I was hoping to make a video in the middle of February, hoping that we would see another content drop, but unfortunately that was wishful thinking. We did see some chief chats to talk about the progress, but this video will only go over what's actually in the builds. I could speak on where the game is going and what they have planned, but I'd rather focus on what's actually tangible. Towards the end, I'll talk a little bit about direction and my thoughts. Keep March 10th in your memory, though. Now, let's look back to a year of Ember. In February, the first thing we had was a compass that was added to the top of the menu. This was a nice little quality of life feature that came pretty early in development. But one of the bigger updates was our thumper being able to start mining resources. Enemies were able to start attacking you using ranged lock-on system to drag you back to Earth. We got a comm rose added, and we had updated menus and key bindings that could be changed. We were also able to type in the values, which will help you if your settings are reset for reinstalling or you overwrite your settings or a corrupted file or whatever. Moving on to April, the Sihu started to attack you with a couple different methods. Enemies started attacking you once you got close. Enemies also had a basic AI system built in that they would use to either hide from you or to squad up. Enemies would also tend to lead their targets in order to try and kill you. And they had a threat range, so if you were too close they would attack, and if you got far enough away they would go back to their original position. We also had confirmation of no pay-to-win loot boxes. I feel like this was kind of important to highlight, but you won't see any tangible effects of whether or not it will be pay-to-win. PvP was disabled, and enemies had hit point numbers placed over their head. We also saw camera chase adjustments in order to give perceived speed increases. We saw improvements with the hitboxes, and a headshot multiplier was added to enemies. Overthrust would accelerate over time and make you even faster. Missiles would now travel shorter distance to their targets. Plasma rifle had a heat mechanic, so you could overfire this and it would be on cooldown. And debugging tools were added for the devs in order to figure out what went wrong if an enemy had a bug like invincibility or getting stuck somewhere. Next came July, and July offered quite an interesting step in development. We saw a new map, 64 square kilometers, which was upgraded from a 4 square kilometer map. It has a white box demo, so this meant that our crafted world of Copacabana is gone, at least for now. And unfortunately, I'd really like to see that come back. The flora really added a lot to give that cosmetic look of Firefall. At this point, enemy spawns are tied to thumpers mining, so enemies would actually spawn in once you called your thumper down to start mining. We had new spawn animations, both for objects and enemies, and they added a melee enemy to the fight, but right now it's just showing a blinking white and red box, but that's supposed to be a placeholder for some sort of a melee enemy. At this point, the Sihus that had the whips that would lock onto you were temporarily removed. We had our glider fine-tuned, and a chat box was added with emojis. Moving on to August, we saw a rather large update, but not a whole lot to actually show with it. We saw the base game get moved over to the Unreal 5 engine, which was a pretty significant upgrade. We saw lighting changes that would be made because of Unreal 5, mostly with Lutris. And we also saw a Catgirl skin rendered in the game engine. This was pretty important because it showed they could deliver on the skins, as opposed to just having renders or concept art that would just be used for display. And then the last major change was waypoints being added to the compass. Moving into November, we had a nanite stress test to add more realistic terrain. That was really the biggest thing because we needed to have a new way in order to get terrain in, hoping to see this in the future. Next in December, we had the voxel terrain demo. This caused limited destructible terrain. More to come on this in the future, but it laid the groundwork for actual destructible terrain later on. We saw some fog effects that were added, and more lighting changes were made to give more dynamic realism. We also saw cloud and particle effects being added while flying. And the last big update to come in January was being able to download the Catgirl demo in order to showcase and examine the textures for ourselves. Alright, so that was quite a long list, but that sums up pretty much everything that's been added over the past year. Some other things to note that didn't actually make it into the game but are still being worked on. We have additional models and skins rendered, but they're not included in any of the playable demos, so I didn't want to include them into a specific month. Some examples of these would be the male model, the Sihu boss, and ankle biters. We've had concept arts for pets, mounts, and other skins, so plenty of other development is going on, but like I said, they're not in the playable demos yet. Now, in my videos and over on the Ember forums and the Discord, there's been a lot of feedback that people are kind of upset that it's just skins in a lot of the chief chats. And I kind of fall in that line too. I've been a little upset this year that we've been seeing a lot more skins towards the end of the year. That being said, I know that skins are what's actually going to sell this game. It's a valid concern that a lot of people have, so I encourage you to look at some of the other failed games as of late that have very poor customization. These might not be the only reasons they failed, but I feel like it's a contributing factor. So think about Battlefield 2042 or New World that had very, very poor customization. That was kind of the reason behind the Catgirl demo that we got this year, and it looks amazing. They really delivered on that skin. It looks fantastic. But I do want to see more content than just customization. So Grumps has confirmed that we will put some more resources towards frames starting March 10th. We're supposed to also see a roadmap to help us see what we can expect. And this is important as I don't want to be making videos on what the devs say will be in the game, but on what's actually in the game. More content means we can sell the game to the audience. It gets me excited to make videos when I can try tangible items or systems to interact with that I can explore and show off to you all. I personally like being able to see progress towards a new game rather than just cosmetics. But I know critics and fans and games journalists alike will blast a game if it has very weak character customization, especially as we get towards release. Unfortunately, we still don't have a date for the Kickstarter, so stay tuned for when that's announced. Overall, I'm cautiously optimistic. I really want this game to succeed. Many games that have failed or have been scams, and in this case, I honestly believe, based on the content presented, that the devs will do what they can to make a great game. Just like all my other videos, I will not tell anyone to go buy a game that's not released unless you want to support the development. I personally hate pre-orders, especially in this day and age when games are being released as buggy, unfinished products. For Ember, I'll do my best to hold them to their word just like I would do with any other game. In the past, I've voted with my wallet, or I continued playing the game. And I intend to do that with this game as well. Finally, I want to plug this video made by Skube as he recently did a 5-year look back video. He's been doing videos a bit more regular than me, while following the game quite a bit longer. I've seen him on the Discord quite a bit, but apparently he's also the officially recognized Ember content creator, if that's really a thing. Either way, he's making some good videos, so I advise you go check him out. He's pretty cool. His link is included in the description below. Alright everyone, that about wraps it up. If you enjoy what I'm doing, leave a comment down in the bottom, give me a like, and let me know what you think of Ember so far. As always, keep it real and keep it on remix.